Blowout quarter for Apple. Really surprised everybody here. What do you do with the stock today if you own it?
You just own it. I mean, I was hoping it would come in so you could buy more. I said that you should sell other stocks so you have enough capital to buy Apple. And Apple's, my old divide by 10 rule, which is, you take a look at a $400 stock, divide by 10. The stock's going from 42 to 45. That's not that big a move. And I think it deserves to be much higher, selling at 11 times earnings. And actually, if you back out the cat, I mean, it's got $50 earnings power for fiscal year 12, and it's at 45. It's 450. It's very easy to see why this stock should sell at 10 times earnings, right? I mean, it has $50 in earnings power, $97 billion in cash. I mean, a lot of things they could do with the cash, and that's never been important for me because I criticize the companies who misuse cash, not the companies who go make a lot of money and have a lot of cash. But this was an iPad quarter. It showed that a year ago we were worried about many iPads coming in. We even had an iPad glut that was signaled in the first Tim Cook conference call post Jobs is dying, and now there is no iPad glut because all the other competitors have died. I mean, it didn't take long. Think of the life cycle of iPad. April 2010, it's introduced. First people poo-pooed, no one knows what to do with it. Then it turns out it has 1 million uses. And so then in 8 months, all the other companies that are in the sector come out with the iPads. And then in another 8 months, we discover that none of them has any traction, and they're all by the wayside, particularly BlackBerry and Hewlett-Packard. And next thing you know, it's the iPod. They're the only game.
So then Amazon's tablet, is that totally out of the game now?
They were
or too early to say?
They were not humble about the virtue of the Kindle versus the virtue of the iPad. They were look, I think that one of the most under-recognized stories, people thought it was fluff, was that they're going to own the textbook market. When you own the textbook market, that means that you go to school with an iPad. So you start now in 3rd, 4th, and 1st grade. And anyone who's going to college campus knows that it's all Apple. But the one thing is that you got to keep the kids from ever being involved with Wintel, with any of the Windows, with Intel product. And that's why I think it's so critical that they do this textbook initiative. It's brilliant.
And then you mentioned all the cash they had, so you don't need to see any sort of dividend or any sort of
Look, I mean, I know I was talking with Stephanie Link, Research Director of ActionAlertsPlus.com, my friend David Wolf from Wedgwood Partners, and we were all, I mean, you could offer a big dividend. You could do an accretive buyback. I actually don't care. I mean, I just want them to continue to execute the way they did. The next thing you're going to hear is that the iPhone 4S is going to have taken so much share away from Android that you're going to begin to wonder whether the Apple ecosystem, which is what's really great, download your music on your phone, is going to also take over phones on the high end. It's certainly possible given the fact that Verizon is willing to lose a lot of money in order to be able to make it so you have one.
And talking about Verizon, AT&T reporting tomorrow, can we learn anything about AT&T's quarter from Apple?
Stephanie put out a very good note on AT&T's making more money off the iPhone, I believe. Now, the big problem with the iPhone, as David Faber pointed out, is they're still not monetizing it. I mean, they're not using that much more data. I think that's to come. And we don't all have 4G. I have 3G, which just makes it's too slow for a lot of things I like to do. But I think that Siri is the game breaker. And why Siri is so important, you don't know unless you use it, is that it's your personal assistant, which also means that if it's corporate, you may not need a personal assistant. It could be a gigantic productivity enhancer. It sounds like a funny little dopey thing, Siri. Siri is your organizer. I mean, I just tell Siri I need to get up. I mean, I had a conference last week, and I had to get up at 3:15 in order to be able to make the car, 3:15 a.m. So I just tell Siri, please wake me at 3:15. I mean.
Wow, and then my last quick question here, for those skeptics who are saying that the bar is set so high for Apple, they have to meet this every time, they're going to run out of juice, the product cycle is going to die out because of Steve Jobs not being here. Right. What do you say to that?
I'm friends with people who are at a high level at Apple. They have iPhone 5 all done. iPhone 6 was pretty much on the drawing board. iPad 4 was on the drawing board. Steve Jobs was sick for a long time. And the staged rollouts will be with us for some time.
All right, thanks, Jim. Good stuff.